lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaoh? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Or the simple answer after all? You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not.
Oh, so here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Well, what's going on in Sweden?
Yeah, so things, the group of people who fight the vax ports and all these rapes of our constitution and human rights,
Yes.
are about to start a party.
Nice.
Called the Coalition for Human Freedom.
I love it.
And I think it's what people despisefully call a one question party, but that's exactly what I want.
Yes.
Because let's say, for example, that everyone in Sweden that is not vaccinated would decide that is the most important question for them, because they're excluded and all that.
Yeah.
And all of them would go for that party. It would be 15%. And that would make them the fourth biggest party. Like
15% is like the fourth biggest? Huh.
Yeah. That's Sweden for you. Because we have a lot of parties. So we have like three parties there. It's the Social Democrats, the Sweden, the Nationalist Party, Sweden Democrats, and the moderates. It's like the Wall Street Party, if you ask me. They are bigger, but then would this one come if all unvaccinated people would go for that, and also if people like me that just don't want to show their papers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I think this is good, if it remains a one question party for the time being, is that these 15% of people in Sweden are bound to be spread all over the political realm, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But for example, I was happy about this, and I told Pilgrim, and he was like, well, there's a party already that's against, and that's a very small party on the right wing, called the Citizen Gathering. And they are, they call themselves liberal conservative.
Yeah.
And that is to say they are liberal, lifestyle liberal, economic liberal, but society conservative.
Yes.
They don't think you should just, like small steps, take it easy.
Yes.
That kind of. That might be a party for you if you lived here, I think.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but the thing with them is that there's bound to be a lot of people that don't agree with their politics as a whole.
Yeah.
But think that this one question is important, and then they have to choose. But if everyone just drops their politics for now and go for that question, everyone that's involved, so to speak, then they will be big enough so that everyone has to deal with them.
Yes.
And so you can still, like, if you're a social democrat, you can still hold to that politics as a whole, but choose for this election to go for that party to make it a factor of power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I don't think that, this vax port thing is not a hard question for any party in Sweden.
Yeah.
It's like they think it's necessary, but they don't burn for it. It's not their hill. So I don't think it would be hard for them, for any party really, to deal on that issue if there was a group strong enough. So what happened in the States?
Well, I actually have pulled up right now emails from our congressional Republicans from Dr. Fauci talking about, I have not read this yet. So given above, a likely explanation could be something as simple as passage of SARS-like COVID viruses in tissue culture, blah, 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 between virus and rat. I really can't think of a plausible natural scenario where you get that from the bat virus or one very similar to it into a coronavirus where you insert exactly 4 amino acids, 12 nucleotides long that all have to be added at the exact same time to gain its function. That, and you don't change any other amino acids in the virus. I just can't figure out how this gets accomplished in nature. Basically, what's come out today with the Project Veritas video and which has been said this whole time is Fauci was the one that was funding the EcoHealth Alliance in the Wuhan lab and knew everything that was going on that created this virus. And so Dr. Fauci was the one that paid for it. And
no, you were the one that paid for it.
Yeah, I paid for it. Yeah. So, and it's just, you even have congressional Republicans now coming out and saying we want him under oath, you know, because he's nothing will happen to him. Nothing ever does happen.
Don't you think under the blade would be more fair than under the under oath?
Oh, I don't know what to say. Other than he won't get in trouble, except for the fact that he might have enough pressure to resign, maybe, but he won't get in trouble for basically causing a worldwide pandemic. It depends basically on what the media decides to do. Everything happens in concert with them, and if they decide that they don't like him, then they'll go after him, and then because then that's what the people want. Right now, they think the people like Fauci, and nobody likes Dr. Fauci. Nobody does.
Not even Fauci likes Fauci.
Exactly. I mean, so yeah, you have a bunch of these, and like if you haven't watched the Project Veritas video, it's about 5 minutes. It's really good, or 5-10 minutes long, something like that. So heck, let's just pull it up right now. We can watch it together.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see here. Military documents about gain of function.
Senator, with all due respect,
Here.
I disagree with so many of the things that you've said.
You're still unwilling to admit that they gained in function. They gained in lethality.
According to the definition that is currently operable,
We're not going to get anywhere close to trying to prevent another lab leak of this dangerous sort of experiment. You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
Project Veritas has obtained never-before-seen military documents regarding the origins of COVID-19, gain-of-function research, vaccines, potential treatments which have been suppressed, and the government's effort to conceal all of this. Dr. Anthony Fauci has testified many times before Congress stating that the U.S. government was never involved in gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Will you today finally take some responsibility for funding gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator, with all due respect, I disagree with so many of the things that you've said. First of all, gain of function is a very nebulous term.
But the thing is you're still unwilling to admit that they gained in function when they say they became sicker. They gained in lethality. It's a new virus. That's not gain of function?
According to the definition that is currently operable.
We're not going to get anywhere close to trying to prevent another lab leak of this dangerous sort of experiment. You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
You have said that I am unwilling to take any responsibility for the current pandemic. I have no responsibility for the current pandemic.
That assertion is based on the NIH's definition of gain of function. However, the documents we've obtained refute that. The documents in question stem from a report at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, better known as DARPA, which were hidden in a top-secret share drive. But what is DARPA? They are an agency under the U.S. Department of Defense, which facilitates research and technology with potential military applications. Dr. Stephen Walker was the director of DARPA at the time of the EcoHealth Alliance proposal. A source sent us this video of Dr. Walker talking about research they were exploring related to mRNA technology and its potential application with military personnel in the field.
DARPA, about 5 or 6 years ago, we stood up an office,
There he
the
is.
biotechnology office, and the real purpose of that was to understand how biology worked, and then build, design, build, and test cycles where you could engineer microorganisms.
Can you hear?
Things that you
Yeah.
Though the main report regarding the
one second. I think there's
proposal
a
leaked on the internet a couple of months ago,
Here we are.
it has remained unverified until now. Project Veritas has obtained a separate report to the Inspector General of the Department of Defense, written by the U.S. Marine Corps Major Joseph Murphy, a former DARPA fellow. Major Murphy makes claims in his report to the Inspector General that, if true, could be damning to the official narrative that has been played out to the world over the past 2 years. Major Murphy's report states that EcoHealth Alliance approached DARPA in March 2018, seeking funding to conduct gain-of-function research of bat-borne coronaviruses. The proposal was named Project Diffuse. DARPA rejected the proposal because the work was too dangerous and could violate the gain-of-function moratorium, despite EcoHealth's position that it would not. According to the documents, the NIAID, under the direction of Dr. Fauci, did not reject the proposal. They went ahead with the research at Wuhan and several sites across the
There you
U.S.
go.
Dr. Fauci has repeatedly maintained his position, under oath, that the NIH and NIAID have not been involved in gain-of-function research with the EcoHealth Alliance program. This appears to be contradictory to Major Murphy's analysis and the rejection from the Biological Technologies Office at DARPA. Major Murphy's report goes on to detail great concern over the COVID-19 gain-of-function program, the concealment of documents, the suppression of potential curatives like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, and the mRNA vaccines. To be clear, Major Murphy is not the source of our reporting. As far as we're aware, he has done nothing that violates his oath of service to our country. We were able to track him down, and though he couldn't go into detail about the hidden documents, he did offer this heartfelt statement.
I offer no comment on the investigation or internal Marine Corps deliberations. I offer a brief comment to those that desire answers and to those that withhold them. To those seeking answers, I offer encouragement. There are good people striving for the truth, working together in and out of government, and they succeed. To those that withhold, I pray for you. Find the moral courage to come forward. Don't let a lie be our legacy to posterity. People will forgive. A commitment to truth is in the heart of this nation. Semper Fi.
Project Veritas reached out to DARPA for comment regarding the hidden documents and spoke with the Chief of Communications, Jared Adams.
Doesn't sound normal to me. No, like I said, if something resides in a classified setting, then it should be appropriately marked. I'm not at all familiar with unmarked documents that reside in a classified space. No, that, like I said, that doesn't sound like. I mean, it's not good practice to put unmarked materials in, in a classified space. But there may be cause to, because something is determined to be classified, but it wasn't originally marked appropriately. I'd be happy, Robert, honestly, to investigate and talk to the people who would own this document within the agency, ideally the director of our biological technologies office or the deputy director of that office, and try to ascertain why it was the case.
So here's the question. If the Department of Defense, the same people who make our nuclear arsenal, felt this research was too dangerous to proceed with, why in the world did the NIH, NIAID, and EcoHealth Alliance recklessly disregard the risks involved? Did they purposefully change the definition of gain of function in order to bypass the moratorium? Further, who at DARPA made the decision to bury the original report that could have raised red flags to the Pentagon, the White House, or Congress, which may have prevented this entire pandemic that has led to the deaths of 5.4 million people worldwide and caused much pain and suffering to millions more?
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want for nothing.
He makes me lie down in the green pasture.
And therein lies
He
the road
greases
to
up my
war.
head with oil.
Because
He
those
gives me
voices
kung
don't
fu
speak
in the
for the
face
rest
of my
of us.
enemy.
You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery.
Amen.
For should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaoh, could Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots that conquered Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain.